Now, many of you already know that yesterday Morgan Stanley came out and downgraded Sofi Technology stock to a $7 per stock company. They are saying that Sofi Technologies should be valued as a bank because it is growing to become a bank, which is something that obviously later on the day or yesterday we saw the CEO of Sofi coming out and respond to that, of course, new price target made by, of course, Morgan Stanley, which is exactly what we are going to cover on today's video. But before we dig deep or go into the CEO of Sofi Technologies, Mr. Nodo's response into the Morgan Stanley price cut of $7, basing it on the fact that it should be valued as a bank, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. And I really appreciate if you can just hit the like button if you are to enjoy the content that I'll be giving you about Sofi Technologies' latest comments or response from the Sofi Technologies CEO himself, Mr. Noto, following, of course, the comments made by, of course, Morgan Stanley. So if you are to like this content, hit that like button as it also helps with YouTube's algorithm. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell, because on this channel, Sofi Technologies is one of the stocks that we discuss a lot, because I personally own this stock. I think as it stands, I own around 1,047 shares of Sofi Technologies, and my average, most of you already know the story behind my average. My average is $5.73, and you already know how I got to that average. But enough about that. I'm just telling you or showing you that Sofi Technologies is the stock that I also discuss a lot, because I'm also investing sort of like heavily onto this stock. So yes, yesterday we got Morgan Stanley coming out and downgraded Sofi Technology, saying that it should be valued as a bank, and later Mr. Noto came in and, of course, responded, or the first question which was asked during his interview with CNBC was that, how does he respond to that? So basically what he said, or his response was, of course, if they want to value them as a bank, they are a bank that is structuring themselves to position to, of course, get to a 30% ROE. And he said bank with 30% ROE are usually, of course, valued at 4 to 5 times tangible book, which, of course, so far is still trading way below that. So he's just saying that regardless, even if they are to put it under a bank, chances are very high that it will still be undervalued, which is the very same point he was trying to drive by this. So this, regardless of whether they take it as a bank, take it as a, of course, tech company, Sofi Technologies, it is doing well. There's no doubt about that. I mean, one of the things, or some of the things that he further said during that interview is, of course, the growth that they've witnessed ever since he joined as the CEO, that is back in 2018, where they had like roughly around 1 million members, and after the Q1 earnings, we know that they currently have almost 6 million members, which is something that obviously it is incredible, showing the good growth that, of course, Sofi keeps on generating, which is just showing their potential. So Sofi Technologies, regardless of how you, of course, rate them or how you value it, whether a tech or a bank, Sofi Technologies, it is that stock that continues to do very well. So the Sofi CEO further indicated that ever since they received the banking charter, each and every quarter they've been seeing $2 billion worth of deposit coming into Sofi, which is something that they said that they've been seeing that happening constantly ever since they received their banking charter, and they see that continuing, which is something that must just show you that Sofi Technologies continues to be that companies that does well, even regardless of the current economic conditions, regardless of the, of course, banking crisis that was happening. Sofi continue flourishing, which is why again he added that for the previous 8 quarters, Sofi Technologies has been beating analyst expectations in both the revenues they generate and the earnings per share, which just shows that Sofi Technologies, it is a company which is doing so well, and there's no doubt about that, which is why, ladies and gents, when it comes to valuing it either as a bank or as a tech company, it does not really matter, because this is a company that it is performing quite good. I mean, the fact that analysts can't even predict the kind of earnings that which are to come onto Sofi Technologies, or all the time we find analysts under, of course, pricing or underestimating the kind of earnings that Sofi produce, just as to show you what good this company, or what kind of a company Sofi Technologies is. He said, my favorite statement, and that is, they are a one-stop shop for all things, of course, relating to digital banking. This is something that we already know, that there are some services that you cannot find in traditional banks but can find into a Sofi platform. So Sofi Technologies platform, you know, you can save, borrow, spend, trade, invest, and they've got a wide range of products. I mean, they currently offer products of around 1,600, which is something that must just show you the kind of growth we are witnessing into Sofi Technologies. Yes, whether it is growing as a bank, but you must know that Sofi Technologies uses technology, because another thing that of course he also stressed during that interview is that Sofi Technologies does not have physical branches of like other banks, which that should just show you that that is a technology right there. I mean, they don't have banks or traditional or like branches where you would find like traditional banks where you would go if you have any queries. Sofi is simply an online bank where you do a wide range of services, or all the services that you would do in a normal maybe bank that has a branch. You can do everything online, and you can even do over and above those kind of things that you would do under a traditional bank. And that just makes Sofi, or that in itself just shows you that Sofi Technologies, it is a technology company and not probably a traditional bank. So I personally think that it should not be treated like a traditional banks or valued at a traditional bank. Sofi, it is a tech company, and I believe that obviously they need to be valued as such. Come end of the month of July, we're going to see Sofi reporting their Q2 earnings. And what are the chances? Chances are we are going to see Sofi Technologies once again thrashing what analysts expected, or thrashing analysts' expectations in terms of the revenues they generate and the earnings per share. After these Q2 earnings, we are definitely going to see Sofi Technologies having total membership of over 6 million, which is something that must just show once again growth that is coming into Sofi Technologies. I mean, recently we read that the digital banking constituted to about 47% of new checking account openings between January and June of 2023, which is something that must just show you that this industry, it is here to stay. Sofi Technologies, it is still going to see some good growth, because Sofi's market share in the first 6 months, it's sitting at 4%, which is of course a quadruple when you look at the kind of market share they had back in 2020. So I'm very excited about Sofi Technologies, and I believe that this is a company which is set for greatness. And unfortunately, I think traditional banks in the long run will feel the heat coming from Sofi Technologies, because Sofi Technologies, it is growing, it is acquiring new members, or tons and tons of new members each and every quarter, and their revenues continue growing. And they are doing this without the student loan repayment resumption, which is something that when we get to see an official resumption of the student loans, this again will be lights out for this stock, because they'll be able to generate more or tons and tons of revenue than the kind of revenues we're seeing each and every quarter. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick updates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me. And I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And God bless you all.